Have you ever just felt completely exhausted, maybe gaining weight for no reason, and you just know something is off? But you go to the doctor, they run some tests, and you get the classic line, everything's perfectly normal. It is so frustrating, especially when it comes to your thyroid. Well, that's the paradox we're going to unpack right now. We're going to dig into the science that might just explain your symptoms and, more importantly, show you how to become your own best advocate. This quote, it just gets to the very heart of the problem. It comes from a woman whose story is, frankly, shocking. After having her thyroid removed, she gained 85 pounds over 2 years. She knew what was wrong, but every single doctor dismissed her. And why? Because her standard thyroid test, the TSH, was technically in the normal range. And her story shines a spotlight on these life-altering symptoms of an underactive thyroid. I mean, just look at this list. Does any of this sound painfully familiar? We're not talking about numbers on a page here. We're talking about a level of fatigue that ruins your day, changes to your body and your mood, a real hit to your quality of life that is just deeply upsetting. Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we are going to tackle that normal lab paradox head-on. Then we'll ask the big question, does the standard TSH test really tell the whole story? From there, we'll uncover the critical role of a hormone called T3, bust some common treatment myths, and then wrap it all up with how you can take this information and become a better advocate for your own health. So right here, this is the central conflict for so many people. You feel it in your bones that something is wrong. You have all the classic symptoms, but then you're told everything's fine. This chasm, this gap between how you feel and what that lab report says, well, that's where all the frustration and confusion really begins. And you know, this isn't just a problem for people trying to get a diagnosis. Not at all. There are so many patients who are already on the standard medication, levothyroxine, and they are still suffering. Their lab reports might say they're well controlled because their TSH looks good, but their symptoms are screaming a completely different story. So why? Why does the standard approach seem to miss the mark for so many of us? To get it, we need to look a little closer at the actual hormones involved. It turns out the answer might not be where most doctors are even looking. Okay, so first up is TSH. Think of TSH like the thermostat on your wall. Its job is to send a signal to the furnace, your thyroid, telling it to kick on and make more heat. It's a messenger. It is absolutely vital, but here's the key. It's not the heat itself. The problem is, conventional medicine often focuses almost exclusively on this one signal, on the thermostat, without actually checking if the house is getting warm. Now, when the TSH thermostat calls for heat, the thyroid produces T4, and you can think of T4 as the raw fuel, the oil or gas, in your home's giant storage tank. It's essential, you gotta have it, but it's not usable yet. In order to actually power your body's cells, that T4 fuel has to be converted into something else. So let's bring this all together. TSH is the thermostat, calling for heat. T4 is the fuel sitting in the tank. But the real magic, the part that actually matters for how you feel, that's T3. It's the active, usable hormone. It's the actual heat coming out of the vents. It's the power that makes the engine of your body run. T3 is what determines your energy, your metabolism, everything. And this brings us right to the most important question of all. If T3 is the hormone that delivers the energy, what happens if your body is struggling to convert that T4 fuel into active T3? This breakdown in the conversion process is exactly what the standard TSH-only approach can completely miss. And this leads us to a really powerful concept, hypothyroidism at the cellular level. What that means is you can have plenty of T4 fuel in the tank and a perfectly normal TSH signal from the thermostat, but if your cells can't make that final crucial conversion into active T3, they are effectively starving for energy. And that is why you still feel all the symptoms. And hey, modern research is really starting to back this up. A study from 2022 found a direct, undeniable link. In patients on standard T4 therapy, lower free T3 levels were directly tied to a lower quality of life. This proves that just being somewhere in the normal range isn't good enough. Where you fall within that range really matters. The power of T3 goes way beyond just energy and weight too. I mean, look at its link to our mental health. In one study on treatment-resistant depression, this is stunning. A whopping 14 out of 17 patients saw significant improvement just by adding T3 to what they were already taking. That's a real game changer. And the stakes here, they are incredibly high. This isn't just about feeling good day to day. Research shows that even subclinical hypothyroidism, the kind that's often brushed off, is linked to a 37% increased risk of death from heart disease. Leaving this undertreated can have absolutely devastating consequences down the line. Okay, so if T3 is so obviously important, why isn't it always the main focus of treatment? Well, that question throws us right into the middle of a major debate in medicine. It's a debate that pits decades of conventional wisdom against this new wave of patient-focused evidence. So here are the two battling philosophies. The conventional view says, TSH is the gold standard, period. T4-only therapy is enough for everyone, and a low or suppressed TSH is dangerous. But the emerging view, backed by more and more evidence, says, hang on a second. Patient symptoms and free T3 levels are a much better guide. Many people need T3 in their therapy to feel well, and a low TSH can be perfectly safe and even optimal as long as the patient feels great. Let's look at Lois. She's a 75-year-old minister. She works 7 days a week and feels absolutely fantastic. Her secret? She has an optimal free T3 level. But here's the catch. Her TSH is suppressed. It's basically at 0. That's a number that would alarm most conventional doctors. Lois's story is powerful because it challenges that deep-seated fear of a low TSH, suggesting we should focus on the patient, not just one lab value. And this is not some fringe idea. The scientific community itself is questioning the old way of thinking. As this quote from a medical paper points out, a normal TSH is often just not a good enough marker. It simply doesn't guarantee that a patient's treatment is actually working where it counts. Okay, so what do you do with all this? How do you take this information from the screen and use it in the real world, in your doctor's office? Well, it all starts with arming yourself with the right knowledge and knowing the right questions to ask. Let's walk through a simple framework. Here's a 4-step plan. 1, keep a symptom journal. How you feel is data. It's the most important data you have. 2, ask for a full thyroid panel and make sure you say the words free T3. 3, discuss your free T3 level. Don't just accept it's normal. Ask, where is it in the range? Could it be better? And 4, if you're on T4 only and still don't feel well, ask about all the options, including combination T4/T3 therapy. And let's go back to that woman from the beginning, the one who gained all that weight. Remember her? Well, after she finally found a doctor who listened, who looked beyond her TSH, her entire life turned around. In just the first month of a treatment that was right for her, she lost 25 pounds. She got her energy back, she got her life back. That right there is the power of being an informed advocate, which brings us back to the single most important question you can ask. The evidence, the stories, they all suggest the goal of treatment should not be to fix a number on a lab report. The goal should be to fix you, to resolve your symptoms. Because the ultimate measure of your health isn't a number on a page, it's how you feel.